Hey guys, Clayton Allen here, host of the Day Trading Plumber and founder of Allen FX. So it's Wednesday. So what do we do on Wednesdays? It's the midweek review coming up next. All right, guys, welcome back to the midweek review. So if you're new to the channel, every week we go through. Every Sunday, I go through and I plot support and resistance zones on a daily time frame, and we take a good look at where the pivots are. I look at these areas as reversal areas or areas price is going to do something, either completely bust through, and we're going to go up to a new level, or we're going to bounce off that area, and then we're going to take some good trades off of it. And then today, Wednesday, the weekly review, I see how we're tracking along midweek and if we need to adjust any of those levels or if there's any really good swing trades to finish the week. Typically, I love to look for where price is veered far from the pivot and we trade back to the pivot. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get on the charts. I use my good old TradingView charts. If you need some help setting that up, let me know. Shoot me a comment in the comment section below and we'll get you set up. So let's give ourselves a little bit of stretch. So you can see here's a good trade call out already this week. So if you guys head on over to TradingView and follow me there, you'll get these videos right as I post them. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, I also post them there. There's just a little bit of lag. And guys, if you want to get my trade signals real time right off my own live account through Telegram, jump on over to allenfx.com. I think I have a link in here somewhere and fill out the form. You'll get access to those too. I have a free service, I have a paid service, and soon I will have some training courses that I'll be launching. So if you go over to AllenFX today, fill out the form, you'll be on the list of the first people that will get access to those. We're so excited over here. All right, enough of that BS. So, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. Well, we have a lot of reversal in this area. That's why we have this rejection, and last night was no different. So we called out a push to R2. Price is well on its way back to the pivot. Great profitable trade. I'm going to get rid of these old prediction arrows because back in Sunday, we were predicting reversal off this make or break zone. We had that bullish move. Then the target was R2. Worked out perfect, right in our bearish zone. So no need to adjust anything. We could even play this trade all the way down to that make or break zone for a pretty good profit target. All right, let's go to Australian dollar Swiss franc. Nothing going on here. Not a lot of movement off our make or break zone. We haven't shot up to our R2 level. We're just hugging that EMA. Nothing really big to report. I would say I got an alert down here because I want to take a trade. I want to take a buy trade if we dip down there or a sell trade from up there. But right now we're just sticking to that EMA. Nothing big. Same thing, Australian dollar. We're hugging the pivot right now. You can see we were looking for a push down here. Still waiting for that push before I'm trading this pair, or at least with this swing strategy. Guys, we hit R2, so we were in our make or break zone. We looked for the push. I'm looking for a bigger push up to here, but probably what we might see here intra-week is we might see another push back down here. I don't know why I don't have my good old fundamentals. So we got a fundamental, some fundamentals that came out, coming out here real soon. That might double top, push this to double top. Then we would love to take a sell from that R2 after this fundamental nightmare or push happens on this pair. And then, we might just see it come back down to the pivot. That's the classic mid end of the week trade right there. Australian dollar, US dollar. We had a almost hit R2. Would have been a great trade back to the pivot. I think it's just going to hug that EMA and the pivot the rest of the week. So, guys, we definitely tested this trend line we got here. We were looking for a little bit of a deeper push, but those of you that are trend line traders probably caught this little bump up. But look how narrow price is getting. I'm going to wait to see if we could get a stronger push either way to our bullish or bearish zone. Canadian dollar, JPY, we have a pretty strong support right here happening. We probably can move it up. Let's get rid of old Fibonacci. Probably if we get another dip down in here, but we're getting pretty tight. Price is basically just flattening out. I'd love to see a deeper push down to this area, and I'd be a buyer from there. Looks like probably the more probable push. Swiss franc JPY. Again, last night we hit R2, instantly came back to the pivot. Would have been a great trade to catch, but I was sleeping last night. So, you got to get some sleep once in a while. Australian dollar AUD or EUR AUD. Obviously, I didn't get enough sleep. I'm still waiting for a dip down into this to be a buyer or a push. I'm staying away from this pair for a little bit. Me and this pair are not just I always seem to get in too early on that pair, and then I go through quite a bit of drawdown for a while or have to take a loss. All right, so Euro GBP, we targeted this area of resistance. It took a while, guys. It took a while for this pair, but we moved back to the pivot. I actually took the profit at there, took my 34 pips. I'm really waiting to see if we can come down, test this trend line, but I feel like we're getting into a wedge here. We're going to get a drop, and then I'll wait for this retest, and I'll catch this retest sell after we confirm this break of trend line. Our EUR JPY, perfect scenario last night. We touched S2 right back to above the pivot, and now we're sitting right on the pivot. So if I zoom in, guys, if we use our good little Fibonacci on this move, you can see we touched the 618. So that should give us enough confidence that we're going to get a good push up off of that. So some of you small intraday traders, intra-week, not a bad trade to put on right now. We're not in a bad entry, and I love this R2 as a long shot. You could be pretty tight with that stop loss below the 618, and you got a pretty good trade here. Not bad. Let's look at the pips. 158 pips. I'll take that all day long. So EUR NZD, I'm waiting for a push up to this R2. Looks like this is the one pair we had the alert on and it didn't do it. And then I'll look for that downside continuation of this trend. But guys, I'm still waiting for that. I think we're going to get it today. EUR USD. So we did a trade call out yesterday or last night before I went to bed, looking for this push into that resistance zone. We never got that second push to R2. So I took the trade once the price action on a smaller time frame, and I'm looking for this pivot as the target. We did get to the 200 EMA, so I may close this trade down short, take the 57 pips, call it good. But we may get that push back up in here. I will just keep selling this pair from that zone. EUR CAD. You know, we shot past the pivot. We didn't get to R2. Doesn't look. I got my resistance zone way up there. I'm going to pull this down and try to trade in this channel till we get a good solid break of that channel. British pound AUD. Looks like we should be bullish right now out of this bullish zone. However, the move is over because we've touched the pivot and we're in a downward trend. So what I want to do is see if I could get another test of this area, and I'll be a buyer from there, which it looks like we're about halfway back to it. British pound CAD. We hit this make or break zone. You can see I'm looking for a retest, and then we blew through it. Now we've retested the pivot. So, you know, if I had to trade this pair, I'd be a buyer off that pivot back up to this zone. It's a little riskier trade. You're sitting at the 200 EMA on a downward trend. So if you're a really strong trend trader, your eyes are telling you down. GBP CHF, again, we had a good bounce off S2 back to the pivot. However, I don't know if we're going to get enough momentum past this 200 EMA and pivot. So I will be looking to see what price does again in our make or break zone. British pound JPY, same thing. We shot past last week's S2 back to the pivot. I'm going to say this one has a lot more downside pressure. Got lots of divergence. But I'm going to if we got to break through this, and I'll be a buyer up to this trend line. Let's get rid of some of this noise. We were targeting this zone for the 618, and now look, we've retested it. So that's what's telling me we have pretty good downside potential down to that area. And then I'll be a buyer from there. GBP NZD, another trade call out. Stretch it out a little bit. Another good trade call out here. We're selling for this bear zone. We're in profit, but it's just hasn't been very much production out of it yet. GBP USD, we busted above our make or break zone, retested the pivot, but man, just a lot of price just holding on to. Here's a good trade call out. So NZD CAD got a really good resistance zone here, and we sold it yesterday on this R2. Now we did have to go through a little bit of drawdown, and we probably should have waited for that double top, but you know, no one's perfect. Back to the pivot, and then some. You know, we pulled that profit out already right here when we started seeing price come back to retest that pivot. Now I think, guys, we're pretty close to this make or break zone, and it looks like we've rejected pretty close to it. So now I'd be a buyer back up to that resistance zone. NZD CHF busted through make or break. We've retested it, and now this is just kind of becoming a good resistance level to sell off intraday or intraweek. I'm still waiting to see what price does, if it shoots up or down and be a long-term buy or sell. NZD JPY, same thing. NZD USD, we're on the top side of make or break. We could probably shrink that down a little bit. We're getting close to see, you know, a possible buy trade up to our daily resistance. NZD or USD CAD. Man, we played off this a couple weeks ago. It's really big bullish, but I got stopped out because I got greedy and put my stop loss break even and missed the move. But man, this thing is just hugging. It's hugging its mean, its pivots. Look how close this all this is. Just gotta wait. We just gotta wait for a good break. NZD CHF. We were targeting this area right here, 618 on this down. Would have been a good sell, but now we've retested it. Another good sell. You can see on Sunday we were a seller from up here. I was looking for a little bit more push in there to get a better entry, so we didn't take it. And now, guys, we're just testing that. Let's get rid of this. Now, guys, we've shot past S2. We've come back to S2. And now we're kind of in no man's land on that pair. USD JPY, man, this pair is just brutal this week, right? We shot up, and I'll be honest with you guys, I sold on this impulse up. I took my profit back right here, and look at what I missed. Me hero, right? And then I missed this buy out of our bullish area just because look how volatile this pair is. And I'm going to be honest with you. That kind of volatility kind of pushed me away from this pair. Normally, I love that kind of volatility. But, man, I took a big hit in my Journeyman Signal Service small account that I'm using for live trades in my Telegram service to my followers. And, you know, we had an amazing week last week coming back 4% from a major kick to the balls. And now it's becoming a recovery effort. So if you guys want to go along the ride with me and see how I recover from a giant loss on a live account, jump on over to allenfx.com and go from there. But I'm staying away from this pair unless I get a really big push. It's probably going to come back up to the pivot. We are currently 21 pips away from that move, and then I'm going to kind of see what happens there at the pivot before I really look for any sort of trade on this pair. All right, guys, that's it for this week's midweek review. Don't forget to hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It really helps me out. And guys, if you want to see something different here on YouTube, let's see what you guys can throw in the comments. I'm almost done with these trading courses. I'm almost figured out how to build the site to get them out there for you guys. And once that's done at the end of this week, I'm really going to focus here on YouTube, creating better videos, better content, and don't forget to check out the podcast. It's growing each week by thousands of downloads. I am just ecstatic that anyone out there wants to hear what a former plumber has to say about trading Forex. All right, guys, have a great rest of the week, and let's go make some money together. Over and out.